Uh, Good morning, evening, wherever you are. This is Ronnie Mazumdar from Magic of Buddha. I have Sudipta with me. Sudipta, how are you doing?
So far, so good. A little bit peaceful. I was in the short trip, uh, so it was beautiful. How about
Oh,
you?
always exciting. Well, a little bit stressful with the job and everything, but nevertheless, here we are talking about football. So we didn't record last week, but there's a lot of action happened. Um, where you want to start and move from?
I think we can start from uh, FA Cup
Okay,
because
let's get
it
started.
was probably the biggest game so far, like in these 2 weeks.
I don't know about that. Maybe. Uh,
Yeah, people will have a debate. I don't know.
yeah, but
Everton fans will argue. Schalke fans will argue.
no,
Probably.
yeah, exactly. So let's talk about it. Liverpool and Chelsea. Fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't actually see the game. Then I had to see the highlights basically. So yeah, I'd like to get your view about the game.
Actually, while I was watching that with my friend, and I was actually thinking about you, and I was kind of agreed uh, with you in some sort of like you told me you miss the golden goal.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree now. Because it's like too much to watch after, and especially after 90 minutes there is nothing much to play for actually. Um, so I don't know, it could have been golden goal or something. And yeah, it would, if there is golden goal, there should be some sort of changes. But yeah, but the thing is that like I watched the whole 90 minutes. um it was end to end, uh, especially Chelsea put pressure on Liverpool. And um, after Mo Salah left, before that there were few opening they made. I was talking about Chelsea, but after Mo Salah left the ground in with injury, or probably precaution or something. Um, there wasn't actually. Uh, Yeah, there was some time Chelsea could have actually go ahead. Same goes for um, Liverpool in the first few minutes of the second half, or at the end of first half. There were a few moments they could have actually scored, and the most unluckiest player in the ground. I don't know who to choose, Pulisic or Luis Diaz, because they both missed some sort of half chances. Pulisic actually made bigger mistake, I would say, because
Yeah, yeah,
For
I
Luis
did see
Diaz,
that.
it wasn't that much clear. But
No,
there
no.
were a few woodwork in the match. Um, but it was entertaining in a way. But if anyone scored in that match in 90 minutes, like it would be really hard to come back in the match. So I don't know, like if people watch after 90 minutes, there were few moments actually after 90 minutes. It wasn't actually that boring, like in for penalties or something like that. But still, uh, I was thinking about, okay, if there is golden goal,
Yeah,
it could have been more attacking or something. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I thought there was something very good about that period of time when there was golden goal. I understand that anyone can score, but then that's the motivation, right? We're trying to avoid that tiebreaker, and a lot of modern like final, if you see, is after the 90 minutes being, say, if it's drawn. I didn't. I don't remember much of the very good the 30 minutes that happens in extra time. Not many memorable 30 minutes.
But Chelsea and Liverpool was a little bit okay, okay-ish, I
That's
would
that's
say.
what that's what I would say for most of the fan. I mean, it was okay. It's not that like adrenaline. If you want me to include some of the games that happened in the golden goal time, there's so many games comes into mind. It may be my nostalgia as well, but in terms of excitement and thrilling. But anyway, I think there will be a little bit, hopefully a little bit change coming in the football arena. I've seen a little bit of conversation that even the span of 90 minutes, not everybody plays in the field. Actually, 90 minutes. I was listening to a lot of referees conversation about it, and if I think 63 minutes happens in the Bundesliga or something like that. That's the highest. And most of the time, it's just time wasting. Ball is out of play, and they're rolling around and stuff like that. So I think there are conversations that it could be cut down into half an hour, 60 minutes. I don't know, just to make it more more kind of moving. But yeah, that's a different discussion. Chelsea played two finals this year against Liverpool and unfortunately lost both of them. Um, but is there something they could take with them, especially they are now under the new ownership and to build on to go or moving forward for the next season or next two seasons?
Of course, I guess. I would say so far, like from the interviews and so far, whatever I read from the news, Thomas Tuchel is like probably a little bit determined to take this Chelsea. If there is like I don't know, like something drastic happen or something like that. But I think he is determined. So does few players. They are going to be there. I don't know about their captain, Cesar Azpilicueta.
I think
Is
isn't
he going to
is
Barcelona?
yeah is that's what I've heard that they're being mentioned.
Yeah, but yeah, Rudiger has already left. Like probably he's going to play his last match in the next Sunday.
Okay,
Uh, so does probably what's his name? The
Christiansen.
other center, Christiansen. Yeah. So probably these two players are going. So there will be some rebuild in the defensive sections also. Like probably they are thinking about. They already have a replacement of Jorginho. I'm talking about Kovacic. He's playing pretty well, and whenever he's playing, he's like okay. He's not like a squad player or something like this, or making some cameos. He is actually holding his team together, and his passing ability, I think it's a little bit better now. I would say so. He is probably going to stay, um, and they probably need some sort of reinforcements in the striking zone. Probably, if they're clinging on with Romelu Lukaku, which is highly unlikely, and from Lukaku's point of view, I don't see any better place to go other than Chelsea so far, because Inter is right now. I don't think they are thinking about bringing back Lukaku with a if it's like even if it's not 100 million, it's like it would be at least like 50 millions. They are not going to spend on someone who is about I don't know how old he is, probably 30 or something, 28 or so, 29. So I don't know. Um, uh, Probably he's going to stay, or maybe go somewhere else. Um, but they really need reinforcements or as a backup striker of Romelu Lukaku, and I think some players should be changed because as I was so pleased with some players Christian Pulisic, he could have actually end the game like at least three times. Like nobody in the pitch got that much opportunity. Um,
Yeah. Also, if my memory serves correctly, he had some interesting chances in the last few minutes against Real Madrid in Champions League, and that could have been even bigger. Like
yeah,
I respect FA Cup, but in terms of impact, Champions League was bigger. So with Pulisic, definitely there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of leadership out there. He's a very very skillful player, but you got at some point of time, you're just frustrated about the way he kind of misses. You're expecting better output from a player from that kind of talent. Um, so yeah, I kind of agree with you. Um, but given the situation, given the new ownership, I don't see huge kind of change, but probably slow kind of rebuilding. And it would be interesting where they're putting their money um, for the upcoming season.
actually, I don't see. They don't actually need that much changes. Probably two center backs and one midfielder, I
That's
guess,
a
like
lot.
central midfielder.
That's a lot because
Yeah, but
when we are talking about center backs, there are not many reliable and very good center backs around, and that Chelsea is.
actually, there are so many players, and so many players are going. Probably, for example, if Leeds are going down, there are like Click or um, someone else. I forgot who's there. They can actually buy them. Those players are reliable so far.
Well,
Um,
what I'm trying to say is that yeah, I could understand as a supporting cast, but you need that leader on the back. Is Thiago Silva going to be their leader at age of 30? He's 36, right now, or 37?
36 or 37.
Yeah.
He is going to be 38 in the World Cup so far. I know.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a question. Say for example, you're losing Rudiger, who's a very good leader on the back, and Aspilicueta,
Yeah.
your captain. So you need to replace those leaders and find that it's not that easy. It's not just center back who, is going to be the person who's available. So it's hard to find that kind of person, or you have to find a season to develop. So I don't know. There are many available.
Not really. In sense of leadership, I don't know. Probably Marquinhos. I don't see him leaving PSG or mm, well, I don't actually see leader so far. Probably from
Kulib,
Spanish league, I would say.
Koulibaly maybe from
Yeah,
Nepal. That that
Koulibaly. Yeah, they have been linked with him like in the Mourinho era, or probably at the time.
yeah.
It did not happen.
Anyway, another silverware for Jurgen Klopp and
Diego Carlos. There you go. If you need a Brazilian to hold, I wouldn't actually. I would vouch for him.
yeah. No, that's a good option, and I think Diego Carlos makes sense. But I think they were more interested in Kunde rather than Carlos. But yeah, Kunde is good too. Um,
Kunde is also good. Yeah.
yeah. In that sense, I was going to talk about Jurgen Klopp's uh, another success as FA Cup. How how valuable is FA Cup to the Liverpool team and the fan base?
They haven't won it for a while. Uh, I think it was last time. Probably it was Stevie G scored goals. It was probably 20 2013 or 2014, around that time, probably.
So it means a lot.
Yeah, of course. And it is the oldest football tournament in the club level, so it means something, I would say. And it actually have much more. I think the prize money is also good.
Yeah.
It's better than Premier League, actually.
No, that's.
That's why Arsenal tries to win it every time.
We'll go to Arsenal. I know when we're going to talk
Yeah.
about EPL, but um, do you have anything to add on this final other than?
No, nothing actually. It was interesting to see because there were some moments like I was kind of feeling like Liverpool is missing a left-footed player um, in the top six positions. Like there aren't any, and it was causing problems for them, especially the movements. And it was being so predicted. And Rudiger is like really clever defender. He was just standing there, not like pushing or anything. And Kovacic was making this run, and they were actually. They were recovering balls without doing anything. So I think they will think about it. They should actually some backup in the midfield or in the attack. I don't see like any. They have like five fabulous players. Um, Probably a midfielder with a left foot, like a good left foot.
Yeah, that's something you do need that variety, a bit of left-footed uh,
Yeah,
variety.
that's what happened. Like, if you remember, Barcelona was playing probably against Sevilla or someone else. I probably mentioned that actually, Barcelona is missing the same thing. They all are right-footed players, and there were certain kinds of movements like it was going to be predicted after a while. That's what happened to Traore. Um,
Now, it gives you a little bit of very different. So, for example, I always listen to how important Quintero was for River Plate when they win that Copa Libertadores because of his vision, first of all, and he's such a talented left-footed player. He could change the game, in certain ways because that's very different than what you have to defend, and that exactly happens, with Paqueta being in Brazilian national team being the left-footed player, and also somewhat Giovanni Lo Celso in Argentine national team. But coming back to that, or even if you even think beyond, how Messi wasn't even, if you take off that Barcelona team and take out Messi, there were not many left-footed attacking players, and he.
there weren't like nobody probably,
No, that I was trying
except
to
for.
remember. Maybe Rafinha, if you really count.
Yeah, Rafinha.
But he's
Yeah.
not as that level, right? So you need that extra something, that makes a difference, and tries you put your opposition in a certain way that they would like to defend in a different way. So yeah, no, you're right. I think they need a left-footed player if Mo Salah is not really there. There has to be someone. And if you see, teams like Manchester City, there are plenty of them, left-footed attacking players, and they are very good about recruiting them as well. So let's if we are okay with that, can we move into the English Premier League discussion?
Yeah, sure.
So English Premier League discussion, should we start from up or bottom?
Sorry.
Should we start our conversation on the top of the table or bottom of the table?
I think we can start from the top because that happens before, and there were some interesting events.
Okay, let's go there.
Yeah,
Uh, so it
I think at
seems.
first
Mhm.
Tottenham lost. Sorry, Tottenham won against Arsenal in the London Derby, and the match was like. Well, um, I did not like the press conference from Mikel Arteta. After that, he was pointing out like bad refereeing and everything. But you have to do at least basics to. This gap shouldn't be that much actually. At least 3 goals or something.
Was it
It
three or
shouldn't be
four?
that. 3 or 4 probably.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Uh, no, I hear one or two calls maybe gone here and there.
Yeah.
I hear him, but
Yeah, that is the thing like happening to Arsenal the whole season. Like 1 or 2 bad decisions they actually gave up or something like that, and this happened. I guess at least 4 or 5 of the matches I watched. I don't know, like I haven't watched the all of the matches, but it's you know, but this is I if you remember I was mentioning the average age of these players, like it was 20 point something or 21 point something. And the only older player I would say Granit Xhaka probably is like 27 or something. Now that's the thing happening, like you need a older player or a captain to organize those players. Like there will be some great leaders like from back. Ramsdale is always vocal.
you almost need a
Gabriel,
Zlatan Ibrahimovic on that team.
huh?
You almost need a Zlatan Ibrahimovic on that team.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he would have still have this grudge against Arsenal, because Arsenal was asking him for a trial and Zlatan doesn't trial. So
No, no, no. He doesn't.
I don't know. But yeah, they really need a leader. Right now, there were a few. How can I say, like issues going on with in the dressing room, because all of the players are at the same ages, uh, and now probably Odegaard is captaining the team so far. But it wasn't actually new for Arsenal, because Cesc Fabregas was captaining the team. I guess he was when he was only like 21 or 22
Yeah,
probably.
exactly.
So it wasn't a problem, but he has like Patrick Vieira at the time, or like he was at the a end probably, but still he was there. Also some other senior players were there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a problem at the time, but they still need a like a big brother in the field at least, who can actually like maintain those positions and a little bit vocal. Both of their center backs are not that vocal actually.
Okay. Now I heard all the excuses, but what are the? How can you explain Arsenal being really poor in the start of the season? Then they picked up and they were really good, 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 good. It's going on, and then I didn't even expected them to do so well to
Collapse.
come,
Oh,
come
okay.
for the fourth you know as a challenger, and at one point they looked like the one. I mean, if you, there were three or four other candidates, but if you had to let me choose, I would have chosen, always chosen Arsenal because of their way of their going and trending. And all of a sudden, on the crucial games, somehow, they're slipping.
Mm.
Um, is it just leadership? Is it just bad referee calls? Is it just some
Well, I
mishaps?
wouldn't go for bad refereeing, because like bad refereeing is like at the end of the
It,
day,
it
like
happens with almost
the whole
all teams.
we are talking, yeah, we are talking about the whole season, like every like like how can I say, like in every matches nobody is going to like it's not like a Mourinho team, like everyone is conspiring against you or something like that. It's not like that actually. There are some bad decisions, it would happen, and I would say like bad refereeing, or and there are some injury problems, and there were some problems like with if you remember, like they did not score a goal, single goal in January. There were few draw matches, and they lost probably two games. And they let go of two of their midfielders, and they did not actually get any reinforcement in midfield. And those small decisions, like a little bit arrogance, those are, I would say, like uh, well, what can I say, like it could have been actually better, but it did not, because of those small little things. Like you cannot be that arrogant to run a club. um, you have to find a way to uh, make work, or if you are letting go of players, bring some reinforcement. Because, and you are the one who was also complaining in the press conference that we don't have enough squad to play that match. And this match was supposed to happen in the beginning of February, or something, around that time actually. And it was cancelled due to COVID or some other issues. And at the time Tottenham was really poor, so it was that time actually. And Arsenal actually the one who requested that we don't have any enough player to go in the um, Spurs Stadium. And so, but that's the thing. You if you if, like those small little decisions, like I love what he is doing right now, Arteta, the way he is thinking and the way he is trying to play with this young squad. Like they are really young. And another thing is, like, it's also a blessing when they play well, all of them are playing well. And when the form goes down, and there is no one who can actually, like, okay, now we can actually, we don't have a form, we have to believe, or we have to manage this game. There weren't any sort of game management. They could have actually win against Manchester United in Old Trafford. And that match, only one bad decisions actually went against them, and they collapsed at that match. And those sort of things happened to this team. And that's why I was thinking, like, bad refereeing is not, is just an excuse at the end of the day. You have to their manager, Mikel Arteta, should take some, at least some responsibility in this case,
Well,
especially with these small details.
I guess his team is really young, right? He cannot just blame his players, so he had to blame something. I guess that's what he's doing. But if we move from Arsenal to the side of Tottenham,
Only few things actually good going on with Tottenham, because before Antonio Conte, probably they weren't in there. They couldn't actually be in the scoring positions. And right now, Tottenham is the club who actually made less shot and more goals. Like the transformation is like 56%, is way over than Manchester City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. They were like 51%. So like that tells, like, this 5 or 6% gaps, especially in the last few days. And brilliant form of Son, of um, it actually. And there are some players who actually, like, for example, January they have reinforcements like Kulusevski. It was a game changer for them actually. So they needed someone. They let go of Lo Celso. And who was the another Argentine?
no, there was no
There was a
other.
winger.
There was no other Argentine. There was
Yeah, there.
uh,
What's his name? I forgot actually.
but Eric Lamela was
Eric Lamela.
I was out before, like in the summer before Conte came.
Yeah, yeah. They needed someone actually in the right wings. So Lucas Moura is not working. And another thing is that Christian Romero's form is, he was dealing with some injury problems up until January, I guess, and now he's totally fit, and he's not like letting go go of anything behind him
It's
so far.
ferocious defender. I
And
that
he's really
that
clever. I did not notice that actually before.
he
Like,
tries to be in a position either to win the ball or cover for, like, his, say for example, I've seen multiple times his teammates, if they're in a bad spot or something, he's always in a position that covers it. I saw similar qualities in Rudiger. uh, so yeah, there you go. If Chelsea has money, they should go for Cristiano Ronaldo. I think solid player. But coming back to Tottenham, and obviously I want to talk Romero and his impact. And all of a sudden, if you see, Eric Dyer looks very different player. Um, and then what's his name? Forgot the other as a center back.
Bentenko.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
uh, but yeah, they look,
Um,
all of a sudden they look
I forgot.
like, say for example, if your teammates is making one or two great tackles and punching, you elevate your game too, right? Happens a lot because of the momentum.
Yeah.
And Loris has been good too. Of late, I've noticed that he's been
Actually, not that great actually
he's been all
because
right.
yeah, all right, yeah. But
Uh,
yeah, at the beginning of the season, he's making more mistakes
no, no, no,
than
definitely. But I'm
now.
talking
He's
about very recently. He looked like less flawed for the time being.
yeah,
And also, one little change I've seen, that is Harry Kane. He looks to be back in the business. And why is that? Is that I think Conte have talked with Kane, and Kane kind of probably explained why he tries to drop in. And what's happening right now, if he drops in, there was nobody else to attack on his kind of side. Now there is probably an instruction to Son to attack those empty spot that King kind of leaves. And there is always overlap on the left hand side to cover Son flank. And that happens in such a quick move, one or two or three passes, that takes such a short transition time. It looks almost like perfect for everyone involved. And because of these paces of, you said about Kulusevski, Kane looks to be rejuvenated. And Son, he can run anywhere. He has both fits to shoot and almost
y-
always in a very good position.
yeah. It's almost similar to the technique. If you remember, Real Madrid's 100 goal scoring
Season.
season with Mourinho, like they were playing similar sort of football, like with two, three touches, and then Ronaldo is in the scoring position. Then both like it's happening with Son right now so far.
Yeah. So
I think
so is it
we, we,
is the Tottenham team looks like, I mean, how many games left? One.
one game only left.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they're going to make it
yeah,
so far.
yeah. So I guess the appointment of Conte helped them to, because that's a big thing for any club to attract players. Also in terms of Champions League money, um, it is important for club like Tottenham that they make it right. And um, yeah, so I think it worked for them.
Yeah, of course. I think these three like default positions have been fixed. We can talk a little bit about like last two games of City and Liverpool.
Sure.
The City obviously draw drew against someone. I forgot actually which club, unfortunately.
That's okay.
and yeah, and Liverpool actually basically they went for a second squad and they still made to win win it anyway after um, going one goal behind. I guess I watched that match actually, and I was watching and I was thinking about that. Like at least in the midfield, they don't need any reinforcements. That so far because they are playing in the almost the same way They're playing with their three main midfielders with along with Thiago. But only thing they can reinforce is like probably a left-footed midfielder, and that's it. I don't see. They did. Yeah, Klopp was talking about that actually. Like he was comparing them with Ferrari, like Ferrari in the garage
Yeah.
or something.
But yeah,
Because
just to remind you that the Manchester City draw came against, I believe it's West Ham.
West Ham, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I remember now.
yeah, but
Bowen scored probably two goals. Yeah,
yes, S- yeah, no. Let's go back. I mean, we talked about Liverpool needed um, a left-footed sort of maybe attacker, maybe attacking midfielder or number eight or something. Um, is how satisfied? Well, right now it looks like what are the interviews I've seen from Pep Guardiola that he's rating. Um, he always rates kind of league title over Champions League, and I'm not going to go into the debate that which one is harder to achieve because it all kind of feels subjective. Because if you have continuity, makes sense that you're winning the league, but there is no way we can undermine the knockout competition as
Champions
well,
League, yeah,
right? So saying
yeah,
one thing is harder than other, I understand from continuity perspective, but even from continuity perspective, I remember some of the Manchester United winning Premier League being like 80, 85 minutes being very average, and they always won it in like last 5 minutes or injury time. That's basically called Fergie time at that point.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know how they've managed it, and if you even look at how this season Real Madrid actually being performed, I mean, almost in certain games they will look really really bad or pedestrian, but they still win it like 3 goals, 4
Yeah,
goals.
even in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, in the La Liga. So yes, but cities, it's hard. So it's harsh to compare them to how Real Madrid won it. But what I'm trying to say is that the continuity picture doesn't really tell you everything. How City have win most of the games and performed throughout the season in the Premier League, exceptional. And the gap I believe is just 1 point against Liverpool. Even
Yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
have done so well. Uh, but saying that knockout, sorry, the league is better than knockout competition. I don't know about that. What's your thought on that?
I, it's like apples and orange.
True, true.
How can you compare this thing? It's not actually. But yeah, yeah, like what you say, I would agree. Like if continuity is the
Parameter.
yeah parameter, then league is obviously hardest. And if you think about that, actually, like you have to go through like injuries, so many things, other tournaments, and you have to perform at the same level
But can I be a
in the
devil's
league.
advocate as well? Because in the knockout games, you have to win constantly, right? If you
You
lose,
don't have to actually. You
well,
have
in the group stages maybe.
away match and
No, no, fair
but
enough. But in the tie, you have to
in the
win.
league, you don't have this actually luxury. You have to win all of your home games plus as much possible as away games. So
Uh, True, but what I'm trying to say is that continuity, because both home and away games are considered as one tie. You have to win the tie anyway.
yeah, but there is a difference. Why Champions League or any other international
Cup.
football league is yeah, a cup like knockout tournaments are like harder to play. Like if you remember, like we concluded like our Liverpool versus Real Madrid prediction with like midfielders passing diagonal balls from the Spanish side, and which is causing problems to the English sides because nowadays there were some blocks. Um, like it's also like you have to adapt with like certain playing in the league. Like for example in the Spanish league, all of the teams play in a certain way. In Italian league they played in a certain way. In English league they played in a different way. So you have to adapt, like you don't know which club you are going to end up with in the draw, and you have to actually adjust those things. So this is, if you think about that actually, like adjust adjustability, or I don't know like what's the word called, how to adjust with this sort of playing styles, and how to go deeper in the tournament, because like the more you going deeper the harder opponents you are getting, and
You're
also like
supposed to.
probably, yeah, you're supposed to, but sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But whoever in the top four matches, especially the last eight matches, like quarterfinal and semi, like those are not that actually. Um, well, if there are miracles, like some
Villarreal.
teams are making miracles, like for example Villarreal. Even Villarreal was
Very
beating
good.
Bayern Munich. Yeah, of course. So Ajax was brilliant in the Tottenham was brilliant in that tournament. I forgot actually which one. But what I am trying to saying, like those four matches, or at least those matches in the knockout league after the second round, you have to adjust with this team. And if you want to be a champion, you are going to face someone like,
Harder. Yeah.
yeah, someone harder.
Yes.
So and it becomes like one match tournament at one point,
Yeah.
you know.
So in order to, what I meant is that you have to continually win the tie to move on to the later stage of the competition. So in a way, that the continuity, the parameter of continuity is a little different than the league, because it's
Yeah,
more games. You have more grounds to cover, but here you have a shorter time frame. If you make mistakes and you lose the tie, you're out.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but anyway, are you happy with how Manchester City is playing the Premier League games? And is there a chance for the last game? I didn't actually see who they're playing. Is there a chance for?
Aston Villa.
Okay, so Aston Villa and
Football romantics are like, Aston Villa's coach is Steven Gerrard, and Gerrard never won Premier League. So like there were saying like Gerrard is going to win the Premier League for Liverpool now. So yeah,
yeah, Aston Villa could be tricky, but then Gerrard I've seen was playing Coutinho. Coutinho doesn't look good at all. He was preferring Coutinho over Emi Buendia. And Emi Buendia is arguably their best informed
actually
player.
there is another player who was playing better. Watkins probably.
No, Watkins is playing better, but in terms of what I see from Coutinho,
Creativity.
yeah, Coutinho hasn't been really good of last few matches, and I would
Yeah,
say Buendia is way better, and I don't know if he's gonna play both, but somehow there is a liking of Coutinho for some strange reason, because I've seen Buendia play better assisting and then getting benched the next game. So yeah, I don't see how I could be wrong, but Aston Villa can really hold Manchester City.
um, there are a few problems actually, especially in the defense for Manchester City right now. Fernandinho is playing as a center back because they don't have any other center backs right now. I think Nathan
Okay.
Ake will,
Yeah.
yeah, he will come back probably. I for the last match. I don't know, but Diaz is already out. Stones is already out. Kyle Walker is out. Um, so there are some problems in defense. Other than that, I actually like I saw that statistics yesterday. Rodri is the highest probably ball winner or something like that. Actually, like he made like 278 um, anticipations.
Now, I understand statistics is a very cool thing, and it does indicate certain things. But let's not even go there. So with statistics, because sometimes statistics doesn't picture everything. Rodri as great as interceptor and stuff like that. But what I was going to mention about Pep Guardiola's team and the problem with the injuries of the center backs that happened historically from Barcelona to Bayern Munich to Manchester City.
Yeah,
Um, and they were at a point, I mean, Yaya Toure had to start for Barcelona as a center back. Mascherano was converted into center back. So clearly there is a pattern. Um, I don't know if it's
is it
just
training?
coincidence or if it's just physio, the way he picks, or his squad depth. He doesn't really have much room for other center back that has similar kind of qualities. Um, but I still feel they should be comfortable against Aston Villa to win it. That's just my opinion by seeing Aston Villa for last 4 or 5 games. Not saying that they're not a decent team; they're a fairly decent team, but I think Gerard has certain bias, and I think that's not going to win him games or at least make a draw.
Yeah.
So I think Liverpool is playing against
Also,
Wolves, and that might be they will win it. That's just my kind of point of view.
okay. I don't actually have much to edit there because they are playing with they are not taking any risks for the Champions League final, and they know that that is the main thing. They can actually win that, and with league it's not there, not like directly in their hand. If it is, then they would have actually do accordingly.
And
Probably would take some risk with Salah or some other players. I would say, but they are winning it with probably with their second team um, can win this game. So they're not. I don't think they're thinking about that much actually at the
but I
time.
think even if they play with the second, and I've seen enough games of Liverpool's second sort of team, they look very comfortable to win against Wolves. I mean, I've seen Wolves recently. I don't see why they cannot win it, even with their second string team. But if Manchester City wins it, that becomes irrelevant anyway, right?
Yeah, they will probably do their job and see probably what happens in the other match. That's it.
Yeah.
Probably there is nothing to gain from the match. Like there is something to gain from the match, but yeah, we will do your job and that's it. It's not up to their hand, so they are not gonna take risk with Salah or Mane or some other senior players, or probably Thiago, who is probably going to be elemental in the final.
Can we just briefly talk about what happened yesterday in Everton?
Oh my god, I was going to. Well, I will bring another topic. You will probably know. We talked about that actually before we started. Um, yeah, well,
So
mm,
yeah,
I,
Crystal
I don't
Palace.
know where to start actually because beating Crystal Palace, we have seen games like again Palace against Arsenal, Crystal Palace against Liverpool, Crystal Palace against United. Um, all those big fours or fives, I don't know, six. West Ham, it was also tricky. Like since Patrick Vieira taken over this club, and he doesn't have any superstar probably. I'm not saying Conor Gallagher is the superstar or anything. He just played a one good season, but the way those players are playing, it's like really hard to beat. And when they are like two goals ahead of you, I was not like even expecting that actually they are going to come back or something like that. And
Yeah, no,
well,
it's been very dramatic to start with. I mean,
if you if you saw this Richarlison goal, it's like uh, how can I say, how can I explain this? It's like surreal. Like it shouldn't be in the, even in the, it
net.
could have actually
Yeah,
like,
I think
yeah,
that that deflection took it over.
yeah.
But yeah, at certain point of time, you need that kind of luck to go for you, some kind of
And
deflection. But
yeah, and
credit to them
Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he was completely out of this season, and he probably scored the most important goal
to keep
of
them
their
alive.
season.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
he's
unbelievable scene. I mean, after that goal, I think the spectators were coming to join in the field to celebrate. It's surreal.
I
Uh,
haven't seen something like that since Leeds United
Promoting.
came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, promoting. Yeah, but it 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 also like they don't have like, yeah, obviously the Everton is a historical club,
Yes.
but nobody was expecting them to
Struggle.
yeah, struggle actually, especially the way how they played last two seasons. It was brilliant. Although there are some, sayings, but yeah, still. Yeah,
I
but
think
nobody
the
was expecting them actually to go that far down, and they came back like, and I was actually thinking about that, like we, like most of the, like in this globalization era, like most of the supporters and um, most of the football fans, they are trying to support the clubs who are winning trophies or something like that. And when those Everton fans actually like, they collapsed in the ground and like hugging each other, like tear like they're crying, probably so many people, um it means like, I don't know, like I would rather be a Everton supporter than, it feels like that actually, like in those moments, like there is another moments I saw, like we'll go there. So it feels like, uh, I don't know, like lately I've been thinking like, what's the point of supporting those big clubs? They win trophies one day, and in 2 years they will win everything, like
yeah,
probably.
it's boring
Yeah, but
and
for
they have the
them,
money.
those fans,
Yeah,
yeah, for them, they are not winning anything, but still they have this joy, and
yeah.
seeing those joy from their eyes is
And that's what
it's surreal to watch.
normal football fan should feel like, that emotion, right? That is what sports is
Yeah,
all about.
those are not like merchandise fans. Those are their,
Core,
how can I say, like
hardcore
core.
fans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. With no disrespect, I mean Everton is a big club, has a huge supporter, has a beautiful stadium, has a huge kind of fan base historically, and how it whatever the supporters are and nearby are is basically, you talked about globalization age. There are a lot of teenagers are following teams like even PSG is getting a lot of support because of certain superstars, certain brand and the stylized.
I was I
But
was talking about that actually. Like,
yeah, yeah,
let me interrupt a little bit.
yeah,
If it's the Champions, Champions League is given by TikTok, PSG would have won it like in the last 3 years. I was telling that to my friends. There are so many TikTokers with PSG jerseys, like
But yeah, that's funny. Um, coming back to the football and what it means to the local football fan. Like when someone is a hardcore fan of, say, someone like Bolton Wanderers, or we talked about um, Blackburn Rovers, or
Newcastle.
Newcastle. There are other teams I'm forgetting the names. Leeds being one of the historical teams
Yeah,
as well. So
Leeds.
Nottingham Forest,
Nottingham Forest is coming back probably.
exactly. So the fans of those, it's more of a generational. They,
Yeah,
they're more they're more connected to the club, to the area, to the sector, and that's how. And all the people you're getting from internet is go for the glamour because of Liverpool, Manchester City, even Manchester United. Uh, you have
especially Manchester United.
Yeah, no, that's and you have Real Madrid and Barcelona and the
Yeah,
others, Bayern Munich and stuff like that. But coming back to that, this the success of smaller teams such as Leicester City, in Claudio Ranieri, that champion, uh, being the champion in English Premier League, and also the success of very recently, Villarreal have done it that makes football more kind of glorious than it is, because it seems like in Champions League, sort of bigger kind of competition, whoever spends the most, normally it comes down to that if you have a bigger depth on the bench and stuff like that, and you have a quality player and quality coaches, technicians, physios, and so if you spend money, you kind of get return. But yeah, truly amazing to see the scenes at Everton. Glad they'll be there, and Frank Lampard, what an escape! I mean, I've seen some of the escape of Frank Lampard when he was in Derby as well, right? Derby County.
yeah.
But yeah, what an escape for him.
Especially past few matches, like they have games against Chelsea, uh, Liverpool,
Yeah,
uh, and they almost have had had a stallment with Liverpool.
yeah,
We talked about that game actually. They probably won against Chelsea, and they made it to against Crystal Palace, who is like nothing but brilliant this season.
exactly.
So now there are like two teams on the verge of
Going down.
going going demoted. Yeah. So which one are you going to pick, like Leeds or Burnley?
It's hard. Burnley. Leeds. I'd say Leeds. They look depressed. But again, there's hard. This is hard. Burnley. Burnley is for a very different reason. There, it's hard. It's hard for me to pick really. But you can go ahead and pick one. It's hard for me to pick Burnley or Leeds because whatever little I've seen from Leeds doesn't look very good. and for Burnley as well, I mean, they have sacked their managers, and there was one or two games there was a bit of reaction that happens with the new manager, and after that it's been going similar trajectory. So yeah, no, again, Burnley, they might go down too, given that the Leeds supporters and everything. It would be great if Leeds can survive, but they have to be very good uh, as well.
Well, I'm not gonna choose, but I'm gonna ask you the last question about like Premier League. I don't see we have anything to add, right?
No,
Okay,
unless we're talking about some mid-table meaningless games.
no, thanks. um, I'm going to ask you a strong, like a really hard question because on Sunday every game will be at the same time. Which
Yeah,
game are you gonna watch? It's I think at our time it's like it will start at
I think 8
5 p.m.
8 a.m. That's my time.
Okay.
And I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that's 8 a.m. In my time. That's a good question. It makes sense to look at Aston Villa versus Manchester City because that decides everything, right?
Yeah. Also, I would say Leeds versus someone. I don't remember actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah. But it is possible that I could not wake up and not even see any games.
Okay, I have additional question, but probably in the next section or
Okay,
some
let's.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
is it okay if we can move from English Premier League
Yeah.
to somewhere else, or you wanna go
Uh, Europa League, I guess.
Europa League? That's a fantastic cracking final that happened. Obviously, I didn't see it because of the timing and the weekdays, but what a game!
I did not even know. Actually, knew that like it would happen like 1 days before the Champions League final, and I was like preparing myself. Like, okay, I have some stuff to do, and I did
Yeah,
not know that it already happened.
yeah, no, it's a kind of shame that Europa League, especially this final, should have been watched by more people in weekends. But
Yeah, exactly. Especially how they played
both the team
the whole
and,
time.
and the
Yeah,
final being anything but fantastic. I mean, as it promised
yeah,
to be. Two very good teams, very energetic, very technically gifted, and some of the performances from both sides have been emphatic over the whole Europa League. Because I think technically Europa League is more complicated than Champions League because you have to play
yeah.
what bunch of other teams and bunch of other games, and you get a lot of decent
There,
team.
there, yeah. There are also an extra round.
Yes. So to me, obviously Frankfurt won it in the penalties, but that game could have been gone anyway. Some brilliant save from Trapp. Uh, he should be the starting keeper, according to me, for Germany. I don't see any better keeper than him at this point. I mean, whatever he's done on that game or the whole Europa League campaign I've seen.
Especially the this season's performance after that. Actually, there aren't any German keeper
That is on
like him
his
right now.
level. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Uh,
not
Unbelievable.
even Manuel Neuer.
No, nowhere near. I mean, Manuel.
Yeah,
If this was Manuel not doing season, he would have been talked all over in the world about Ballon
yeah,
d'Or, right?
yeah.
But
Exactly.
it's because of Kevin Trapp. Nobody gives really a damn about what's he's done for the team. From not just about Trapp, but the whole team. Obviously, he played really well. I was very impressed with that number 15 Japanese uh,
Oh yeah.
player.
Mm,
Forgot the name.
I forgot his name also.
Yeah,
Mm,
but what a player! What a player! The intelligence, the step overs, the pause, when to pass, when to connect, and when to take on. Brilliant player. Um, there are a lot of other like number 10. And if I have to talk about the entire team, but it's what I was very very fascinated by Rangers' approach to the game because I was thinking, how they're going to defend. Because when Frankfurt goes for attack, it looks like they're running in an empty field. Not in this game. Not in this game at all. I think Rangers got their tactics absolutely to the point. Uh, just being unlucky with some of the chances they could not finish because of either misses or because of trap. I think Giovanni Bronkhorst is a very good manager. He re- I think this is the first time I've seen in the whole Europa League that a team playing on the level or even better at certain point against Frankfurt. And yeah, both teams were great. Nobody, and that's why I don't like penalties because um, it's it doesn't give you that justice. I mean,
Yeah, but
I wouldn't.
at some point
I would
the
have
match
said.
should.
I would have said the same thing if Rangers had won that game in penalties, right? But come on, it's a disservice. It is a
But how
disservice.
can you decide the game like after 2 hours of playing?
That's true. I mean,
Coin toss.
there has to be a better way. I'm just thinking about it now. I mean, obviously you can introduce golden goal back one, and you could give the opportunity from because the players will be exhausted. You know, give another
Yeah,
5 minutes extra, and rotate players like from bench, like give give 5 6 substitution. Give that opportunity.
yeah.
Get the
But
game going.
the thing is that like if you remember the African Nations Cup final, Egypt was playing for the penalty shootout because they don't have power to do any harm to Senegal. So like that could also happen. Like they, if you give like six player substitution after the 90 minutes, then like all of them could be defenders in from one club.
But then there's a risk of defending deep and conceding the goal that would end the game. You,
Yeah, but
you can bring
some clubs,
you can bring all your defenders, but you'll be in a panic mode.
yeah,
You
but
cannot
some
defend.
clubs will go for it. Like Atletico Madrid or I don't know,
I've seen
some other
Atletico,
clubs.
even the peak Atletico Madrid crumbled in extra time, right? Because you
Yeah,
cannot have that discipline going for that long. It's hard. It's defending is
true.
not that easy. But again, I might be talking kind of nonsense, uh, just because I don't like this way of deciding the game.
Yeah, but what happens? Eintracht from Frankfurt, they probably they finish the league in ninth or tenth position, and they are going to play Champions League now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, even that's a big achievement, obviously. But I think
Yeah,
winning this Europa League is huge achievement for a team
yeah, of
like
course.
Frankfurt, right? It's a monumental
It's their
achievement.
second trophy in second European trophy in 42 years.
Yeah, that speaks volumes, and congratulations to the board, to the players, to the managers, to the crews, whoever's there,
Have you
and the
noticed
fans. Incredible fan.
if you see the honor list of the Europa League, except for Chelsea, like there aren't any like money makers who was going to win this tournament. If you see that actually,
Exactly.
and that's why like it's one of the most interesting tournaments right now because those clubs, if you remember, like Leipzig is playing well, Sevilla was there for few seasons, they are actually bringing up some new interesting players.
And a
um,
project.
yeah, also the projects and projects are getting rewarded actually.
Exactly.
uh, and I don't know.
Even you can,
Villarreal is
we
going
can
to
talk
play.
about Ajax because Ajax did lose against that final versus Manchester United, but
Yeah,
you could see that continuation of that project, and Ajax did well in the Champions League as well. So there are definitely some interesting teams and interesting projects that get successful on the Europa League that you don't really see in Champions League, just because at a certain point of time, Champions League look more kind of boring because you're seeing almost similar team playing against each other almost every year. Yes, they're
yeah.
giant, they're big teams with a huge amount of supporters, but if after say 5 years or 10 years, if I ask you, tell me, Sudipta, who won 2017 quarterfinal against Atletico Madrid? Do you really remember? I don't think so. Uh,
No, actually, I don't even remember like
right now,
2020 final or
exactly.
something.
So that gives you that context. I mean, there's so much been happening. If it's been almost always same,
And same teams are playing
yeah, that's what
against
I'm
each
saying.
other.
Because it becomes
Yeah,
monotonous. Then you don't really, as a neutral fan, you don't really know. I mean, yeah, this year maybe this team is winning, but this year that team is winning, except for PSG. PSG always lose. Um, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Anything to add there?
No, I just although I've said congratulations to Anchor's Frankfurt fans and the team and everyone involved, but I need to congratulate Rangers as well. What a brilliant team! What a brilliant performance! And you know the margin is so
Especially
tight.
how they played the final. Like we were talking about, like
I wish
France.
this was the final for Champions League. If this is as exciting
It
as
won't
fan,
be
yeah, that's what
actually.
I'm saying. You know that the football is not that exciting, and
Because
look at the
Liverpool,
fan
yeah,
base. You know they're how excited they are. Both the fans, brilliant to watch.
yeah, and yeah, they should be actually, even like they should, the Rangers fans should have some sort of, like, I don't know, like if they are already has done it, like they are sort of like a parade or something with these players. Actually, they how they played through the whole tournament, especially like the semifinals, how they um, came back and uh, win. It was brilliant actually.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
yeah, it's
yeah, and they played against like two, how can I say, like two great projects right now in Europe.
almost machine. I can say about
Yeah,
Leipzig and Frankfurt.
Leipzig and yeah,
But yeah, no, we can move on from Europa League. I guess I don't know where you want to move. Maybe
Italian league.
yeah, maybe Serie A. Yeah, it
It's
comes down
a
to the
little bit of equations are there in the top. Like
yes. I think
if AC Milan lose the game, then there will be certain equations. I don't know.
yeah, but I still feel AC Milan is on a very good run. They've they've done some very difficult work, and they've been very
Yeah,
successful. Uh,
especially the
last few
last two
matches,
matches.
yeah,
Yeah, how they came back, and
against
it
yeah,
shows that determination to, like, win something.
yeah.
And that's what actually was missing from Inter when they were in the top, in the mid season, especially.
I think Inter hit the form kind of a bit late. But again, Inter has been brilliant to watch as well. But I still would favor. I think Inter is playing Sampdoria. Inter would beat them. But
Yeah,
Milan is playing
Milan is playing Sassuolo.
Sassuolo. Um,
Yeah, and in the away match.
yeah, all they need is a draw, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I would say it's a huge it's going to be a huge win for if Milan wins it for the project that they're doing with Maldini involved with Pioli being involved, and and a lot of work that the youngsters have put. There's been some very good players, especially we talked about. Have Milan bought Tomori from Chelsea, or
Yeah.
is a loanee? I don't know because
Uh,
Tomori is one of the best center backs in
I
Serie
think
A.
it's still in loan.
Okay, so then Chelsea does have a very good defender. He's definitely a leader. I could say
Yeah,
he's been superb with Milan. Um, even some of the players that were
but
not consistent.
but for some reason, like I don't see any future for this team because of like it still needs like at least 4 or 5 players to compete in the same level in the next year.
I hear you.
And also like how they played in the European tournament. Um,
First of all, I think
so
what Milan needs to focus on is the dominance back on the local league and local cup. I think winning this would be a huge boost for them. And there's a lot of young players that are up and coming, and that one or two trophies can change the the trajectory of
dynamics.
a career. So someone like Tonali, Benacer, obviously Frank Kessie is going to leave, but you have Theo Hernandez, who's been brilliant for the entire season. You have this guy Rafael Leao. Whenever you need him, he's come up with goals. Then obviously you have some question mark on certain players such as Olivier Giroud and Zlatan and and others. They need to
Yeah,
recycle.
who was the uh, left winger? I don't know. Remember what's his name?
I think Rafael Leao plays on that
Yeah,
side.
Rafael. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a very good player.
I saw his matches. Like he's just not scoring goals.
Yeah,
That would have actually make the headlines or something like that. But he was like doing everything else like so brilliantly.
yeah. No, he does.
And
But for the season, if we're talking about the entire league, he scored some very important goals.
yeah,
Um, and also
but he's not like scoring. Like
con-
at least 10,
cons-
15. Yeah, constantly or something like that.
yeah, I think Milan were getting goals from a lot of position. That's other thing of this Milan team. Uh, but I think Sassuolo is a tough opponent, but the way they've performed for the last few games, I think Milan at this point should be backing themselves. And also, I've seen. Um, I don't know if you have seen the recent interview of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Uh, have,
No, I haven't actually
okay,
seen.
that's that interview. I would recommend you to see, but he did talk about how he wanted to help this team. He could not help as much as he would have liked because of the injuries. But he's talking about it's not about me. It's he always tries to motivate the players and purely let him speak, which proves he doesn't have a lot of ego as a manager. He let Zlatan speak to the players because he reminds them that nobody would remember this Milan team if they just become second, but if they win like 3, 4, 5, whatever the reminder of the game, and they could be in the history on the back. And the way I think Zlatan motivates, I was thinking, okay, how can he motivate a dressing room? But I've seen that interview, and I've seen how he carries and how he portrays himself as a team player. I can see these young guys really getting motivated by his experience and his speeches, and that's why I was recommending him to Arsenal. Maybe Arsenal could take him after Milan.
Maybe I don't know, but do you, but don't you think like they need at least like 3 4 players to dominate the league next in the next season
I
because Juventus is also investing and Roma is not sitting back and they needed like a long term shift Roma and they are getting this like this is probably the first season of Jose Mourinho, right? In Roma, and they already won a trophy, and there will be some, yeah,
sorry.
whatever it is, but
But yeah, now
there will be
if I have to interrupt you, I mean Roma is not going to go and be challenger of the Serie A. At this point. It's Inter, the way it's looking like. It's going to be Juventus. You're right about them investing. And then
also Atlanta is not that far from.
no, as much as I like Gasperini and Atlanta, he's never into that discussion.
Oh,
You could talk about Napoli if they invest rightly, they could be back, and they have the right manager and right players. They could be back into the equation because that team, we, we do, if we don't forget, 5 or 6 games before they were in the title
yeah,
race, right? And they have been
not 5 or 6, like two 3
2 or 3.
games ago.
They were in the
Yeah,
mix, right? So Napoli could be a team if they can invest somehow. But you're right about Milan. Absolutely, they need to invest. But the model that Maldini and the others are trying to implement it is that if you remember, they have get rid of like Hakan Çalhanoğlu uh, wanted a raise, they didn't
yeah.
agree. He went to it. He went to the Inter Milan, and the keeper Donnarumma. He was making so much
Yeah.
money, and he wanted a raise as well, a huge raise, and they have get rid of him to make sure that, and they got a very good replacement. One of the finest keeper, I think in the Serie A is Mike Maignan. Um, and they were very smart on the loanies. Like they've taken loaning out of some of the very crucial teams and made sure they've seen the profile. They're almost like working as an underperforming players or players that are not getting chances. They're giving them chances and let them establish. And I think it will be interesting how they will replace Cassie. And also, I think they need a if Dybala somehow choose AC Milan, I thought they need that kind of player like Paulo Dybala on
Dybala, I guess, is setting for
Inter
Inter.
Milan. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
because there's the previous president of Juventus who signed him, and he likes him so much, and obviously Dybala likes being around surrounded by some Argentine players. Makes sense. But what I'm saying is that kind of player profile, if you would have come to with a less amount of money, because Milan cannot afford as much, or they're not going to because they've set a very good bar that we're not going to
Yeah.
go over that estimate of budget. Uh, but they've always taken some underperforming or the players that didn't work. Say, for example, Theo Hernandez is a very interesting player, but he didn't work in Real Madrid. So they've taken and given him the opportunity to shine. So I think Milan, even if they invest, that will be kind of a different kind of investment. You don't see that, say, Juventus. Juventus can invest on some short terms. Say, for example, right now they're linked with Angel Di Maria. I think that will cost him 1 or 2 years. That's a huge amount of money. But Milan, I don't know where they're getting the information from, but there are a lot of scouting happening all over the world, and Milan definitely needs some interesting players.
Uh, what about I don't know Enzo Fernandez? He could have actually replaced
I
Frank Cassie.
would have been
But I know that there are interest from
bigger teams. Yeah, Manchester City.
yeah, bigger teams like City or Real Madrid
But very
also.
recently, Enzo Fernandez was in Portugal, and there is some very good link to Benfica as well. I think he went to visit or something. I don't know, but I think if you
Otamendi
choose,
is there, and there are few Argentines, I guess, from Benfica.
yeah, there's a good link on that, and but I don't know if he's going to end up in a top level team. There will be less minutes to play, or the teams that can develop. Benfica is one of them. Uh, a lot of Argentina have started playing there, and including Di Maria as well. And later on moved into bigger clubs. So I don't know what his priorities are, but he's
No,
definitely
what I was seeing like from his profile, like who and Frank Kessie's profile so far are similar, and for Enzo
to
Fernandez
be
is like,
honest, it would be a very good upgrade too.
yeah, and for Enzo Fernandez, the best thing is that like he never loses ball. Like if you remember the Super Clasico against Boca Juniors, like he was like they were pressing and kicking him, and still he was like making long passes to and making long passes to the striker, like Julian Alvarez, and it was unbelievable
But
to watch.
I think, yeah, that would be great if Milan can get someone like him. But I'm pretty sure they're working on what are the other options they have. I think Enzo Fernandez could be tricky because there are some giants going
Yeah,
for, if they decide to go for it. How can you compete with Real Madrid or Manchester City in terms of money on the project?
yeah, true.
But coming back to that, there will be some upgrades definitely, and it would be interesting to see where they come from. But as I said, when the investment happens in Milan, it will be a little bit different than what you're seeing in Inter Milan or Juventus.
For Inter Milan, I would say there aren't any nothing much to do so far,
No,
because
they've been
they
so good.
probably need
They've been so good
they
late.
probably need a, yeah, they probably need a goalkeeper and a back center back, and they are going to get Paulo Dybala, and there are talks going on with
I think
Parades because
I think Alexis Sanchez is going to leave. That's what
yeah,
I know. I don't know about Vidal if it's going to stay or not. Um,
but yeah, they are still playing with Vidal, and there should be a better option at least.
yeah,
Like there are
at least a
talks.
squad player. I mean, he's right now is more of a squad player, but
PSG is trying to get rid of Parades, and Zanetti is trying to like make some sort of contact with him. So far, I know,
yeah, that would
but
be a very good signing if Paredes can integrate with Paredes. Also, Hakan Çalhanoğlu has been very good for Inter.
yeah,
If you're bringing Dybala in, um, that's your that's a question of who's going to play. And also, Inter has to make some decision on
actually,
some of the
it's not
veterans.
because yeah, actually, it's not because they are playing like um 3-5-2 formations so far. I saw. So I don't think see it's going to be a problem, because it's if Dybala is playing as a second striker along with Lautaro Martinez,
No, no,
then I
I'm
don't
talking
think
about then you don't have much time for Çalhanoğlu, who's in higher salary.
that's true.
Yeah. And also, then is Dzeko, the 39-year-old, going to be? I don't know. So they have to decide, and also someone like I still see okay, Perisic is very good for Serie A, and I think he's very good at certain games as well. But is it is it wise to give him 2 years contract because he's been so long? He's been interlegend. Um, those are the conversation they need to have, and I think they were linked with Juan Musa for a long time for goalkeeping position. Atalanta is normally a club that gets
I think they are going to bring Onana
Onana.
from Ajax. Yeah,
Could be that could be an interesting option.
because they are having a talks because there are so many misses from Handanovic.
Yeah, and also the second keeper basically making them lose this Serie A Scudetto. Uh,
Yeah,
they need a good keeper who's fit. So yeah, Onana would be great actually. So is previously being linked to Musa would be great. Um, no, but that's my kind of prediction that Inter is going to win against Sampdoria. Sampdoria has been hopeless. Um, Milan versus Sassuolo, I think I still think Milan is going to win it, and if they win it, obviously they're going to be champion. It is a huge
yeah.
champion. How long they haven't won it? For a long time.
2007.
Yeah, long time.
Oh, wait. 2009.
Oh, right. Or is it 2011?
No.
Let
2011.
let me double check. Before
Oh, okay.
the nine last good.
Before Juventus
Yeah, that's that.
started winning. I think, yeah, they were champion in the 11 because after Mourinho left, Inter wasn't that good actually, and so many players were injured at the time.
Yeah, 10, 11. 10,
Yeah,
11 was the last time they won it. So yeah, it's going to be huge for if any of the team, for both that team. Anyway, but yeah, Lautaro Martinez has been in terrific form. Scored, I
have
think,
you
20.
watched
Yeah,
that? Yeah, that yeah. What is Copa de
Italia.
Italia?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
talked about that last episode, right?
we talked. Okay, I forgot.
Yeah, we talked about it. Lautaro has been in very good form, and even in the league, he's been hitting some very gorgeous goals and being the leader. I think if Inter retains him, that would be extraordinary for them in the next season as well.
Uh, it seems like they are going to because Dybala is coming and it's so much exciting to work with this Argentine duo, Korea and Lautaro. So far,
Yes, yes. So yeah, it's historically Inter Milan has been a great club for Argentine, so makes sense. But it'll be interesting the Dybala thing, if it's being really final, and also how much Dybala can stay fit. That's the other issue because injury has been the one of the killers
yeah.
for his potential. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't have much to talk about in Syria race. But just hoping for last game actually, last game being played played really well.
Um, can we move to Bundesliga a little bit?
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, I have been waiting for this actually for a while
We should have just done that
because
portion and just stopped recording. You could have saved us a lot of time.
yeah, because I saw that reactions from
Schalke fan.
Schalke fan. Yeah, and there, if you
Now,
don't
are you a Schalke
uh,
fan?
no, not really, not like that actually, but it's one of those clubs, like I
Has history.
always try to watch. Yeah, no, not only for the history, especially if you remember the 14-15 season or the season before, they played beautiful football. Um, like I don't know, like at the time Pep Guardiola was there in Germany. but his team was not even my in radar at the time, because how the Schalke was playing at the time. And there were some after that, like Kevin De Bruyne left for Man City. I guess it's in 2016-17 season probably. And there are so many issues, because there were so many players who was playing for Schalke. And then um, there are problems in management, like in German clubs. Uh, it's not it's virtually not possible to taken over by some billionaires or something like that. So most of the time clubs actually selects their own members or something like that actually, and it's more intimate than other systems like in Spain or Germany. Sorry, Spain or England. So those management actually screwed things up, and club was losing so much money. Also, the performance went down, and the club ended up in Bundesliga 2, which is actually not, which is actually better league than Bundesliga 1. Bundesliga. Uh, uh, the thing is that, like, they were trying to get back ever since. There were some other clubs like Werder Bremen was also relegated. I guess it was last season or the
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
season before.
Yeah.
Now they're also coming back, and yeah, last season Union Berlin probably went back, or the season before, I
I think
guess it was the
yeah,
season before.
probably.
Yeah, now Hertha Berlin almost ended up in relegation zone, which is funny.
Is that happened after you
But
moved into Berlin?
yeah, that's what I did.
So any Hertha Berlin fans watching this, look at this man. He just stepped into Berlin and make sure that you guys are
Yeah,
going
I
into the
jinxed
wrong
them
direction.
actually. No, what happened there? Like there were stories almost similar as Union Berlin that you have
Yeah,
told me,
yeah.
which is the same as Schalke. There were some money from the local organizations to keep this
Is it, I
club
can't
running,
remember.
and
Is it Schalke that when they went down, there was some players were ran after by the supporters or public? Is it Schalke or is it Werder Bremen?
yeah,
Yeah.
it could be both actually,
Okay.
because Bremen is also not that. But for Schalke is more likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, now they are back. Their match against uh, I guess it's Saint Pauli, who was playing in Bundesliga last season probably. It was one of the hardest game, and in first 45 minutes they were two down, and then came back after scoring two goals. And then there was this final whistle, and there were like all sort of how can I say, drama was going on. There was red cards in the match, and it's almost felt like you were watching an Italian league, like a referee was aggressive and stuff like that. Actually, all sort of emotions, and like uh, how the whole stadium reacts after the game. Like players were like breaking down in tears, and it was unbelievable to watch that actually. And this is what I was going to ask you, if you have seen the reactions from the Schalke fan. Um, like or which one, like how can I compare with it to Everton or Schalke, like, but for Schalke coming back to Bundesliga is like they are not that same team obviously, but it's good to see them back in Bundesliga especially.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're one of the interesting teams, and The first player somehow I remember is not Kevin De Bruyne or someone else. It's Andre Schürrle. Um,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, it's a legend of that club. But yeah, no, it's a very important team to be back, and I think I feel sorry for some of the teams that how Bayern Munich kind of weakens uh, the competitors, and
Yeah, that's the thing.
and
Leipzig.
Schalke was one of the major reason, I mean, major story of going down all the way, and good to see them.
Actually, it was weakened by both Dortmund and Bayern Munich,
I mean,
because there were players like probably Bender was playing in Schalke or Werder Bremen. Both of these clubs actually, so many players were taken from those clubs, and they could not actually. They don't have this economical planning, like hierarchical systems like Bayern or Dortmund or some other clubs. So it was supposed to happen, like going that like. But if you know about um, German football, like for me, Bundesliga 2 is more important, or not like in importance, like it's more exciting than the Bundesliga 1, because like in the title race, like especially in the last few weeks of the season, it get like really intense, like who is going to play in the first division, and it's like unbelievable to watch. And it's almost same as like what does they call this league in in England? Um,
championship.
Championship. Okay, yeah, it's almost similar as championship. It's brilliant to watch.
No, it is championship is entertaining, and if anything else, it's very entertaining. If you haven't, like, I'm not talking about it. If I'm talking to the spectators, if anyone in the audience, if you haven't really watched any championship game, it's more. I find it's more entertaining and thrilling, mostly. Uh, so yeah, good to see Schalke back. Anything else from the German football that is interesting happening?
Mm, not much actually. Well, I forgot to mention. Union Berlin is going to play in Europe for the first time in many years. So I hope, yeah, because there are talks with some clubs, like they are probably going to bring some new players. So, but it's not sure, because I am not that proficient in German, and mm, but there will be new players so far, and they really need at least like attacking midfielder and a striker to
Hmm.
compete in the same level so far.
For sure. Okay, are we ran out of topics?
Yeah, as it seems so.
Yeah. So on that case, I guess if you haven't, uh, if you have if you have anything else on your mind or something that we can talk, or if we don't have anything, we can definitely wrap it up.
I actually can't think of. Yeah, I can't think of anything
Okay, no,
so far.
fair enough. I think it will come, and we have more upcoming recordings to do. So yeah, we'll be definitely talking if we have missed anything. Thank you again for the interesting bit of insight, especially you know some of the Premier League games, Arsenal's point of view. Some of the excuses that are coming and analyzing them fairly well, and also overall the insight. Thank you.
Welcome. I hope if anyone is watching, um, I don't know, make a comment, let us know, and we will try to answer if it's a question.
Yeah, no, I did see some of the people. There was a bit of engagement on the last post. So hopefully people are watching and at least try to if you want to be involved, please ask a question or make a comment or anything. So we can talk about it. You can talk. You can put a comment in Bengali, English, or whatever the language you have. We'll try to Google Translate and make sure that we answer that. On that note, thank you again, and we'll be back sometime next week.